students. My name is Annette Morand, and I work in the Climate Change Impacts and Adaptation Division at Natural Resources Canada. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we live on today. And we do this to reaffirm our responsibility and our commitment in honoring and improving relationships between nations, and to better understand and respect local Indigenous communities and cultures. So I'm here to introduce the Green Jobs, Adapting to Our Changing Climate video series. And these videos will help you to think about the jobs that contribute to building a more climate resilient Canada, a Canada that can bounce back from the impacts of climate change that are unavoidable, like increasing heat waves and flooding.
In the last couple of summers have been the heat waves and the wildfires that you've seen. We saw those in Canada, a heat dome that even shocked us as climatologists, how severe that was in BC.
Summer storms, violent summer storms are becoming more frequent, and those storms bring lightning. And lightning and dry forest ground is a recipe for an increase in forest fires.
The types of things we need to protect against are extreme storms. And these, of course, cause a great storm surge, which can cause inland flooding. But on top of that, you've got sea level rise as a result of climate change.
Canadian communities of all sizes are experiencing the impacts of climate change on their infrastructure, health, culture, and economies, threatening Canada's ecosystems and the vital services they provide, including access to fresh water. So as these impacts will persist and intensify over time, urgent action is needed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and increase resilience to climate change through adaptation.
Annual damages and losses related to extreme weather events within Canada is approximately $2 billion annually, and most of this is related to flooding damages or water-related damages. So proactive adaptation investment is the most cost-effective way to protect infrastructure to climate change.
To learn more about the impacts on our communities, environment, health, economy, and how we're adapting, check out the Canada and a Changing Climate report series at changingclimate.ca. There are two ways to address climate change: adaptation and mitigation, and we need both. So first, mitigation is any activity that reduces the amount of greenhouse gases going into the atmosphere by changing our behavior and actions, like riding our bikes to school or work instead of taking a car, and using renewable energy sources like solar and wind power. On the other hand, adaptation is about adjusting our decisions, behaviors, and activities to reduce the negative impact of existing or expected changes in climate. So by planning ahead and making informed decisions, we can protect ourselves, our families, our communities, and businesses from the impacts of climate change.
Primary adaptation to rising sea levels and storm surge is constructing or relocating buildings and critical infrastructure assets above flood levels or outside the floodplain. Another includes constructing flood barriers such as dikes and seawalls, which create a hardline defense against incoming floodwaters.
I think it's really important to understand that adaptation crosses all aspects from, health to biology to, it really crosses everything because we need to adapt on all levels.
J'enseigne aux nouveaux ingénieurs pour qu'ils pensent pour comment ajouter l'adaptation au changement climatique dans toutes leurs décisions pour des nouvelles infrastructures qui vont bâtir dans le futur.
Scientists tell us that we can expect the climate to continue changing over the coming decades. So in turn, the number and variety of jobs requiring the knowledge and skills to address climate change adaptation will need to and will grow. So for example, if you want to be a city planner, your work could involve planning various nature-based solutions to help trap stormwater where it lands to help reduce flooding. If you want to work in agriculture, you could be implementing innovative irrigation practices to reduce the risk of income loss from recurring drought. Or if you want to get into the tourism industry, your work could include working with ski hill operators on ways to diversify their business with less snow, such as off-season activities like mountain biking.
Ça va exploser les emplois verts, comme vous dites, puis dans tous les domaines.
No matter what career you're going to embark on once you're out of high school, the reality is that climate change is going to underlie and sort of shape what you're going to do in the future.
So the goal of this video series is to introduce high school students across Canada to green jobs as they relate to climate change adaptation.
So, Mark, climate change, adaptation, and infrastructure, can you tell us how the two are connected?
So in the following 9 videos, you will see students interviewing experts who incorporate climate change adaptation into their work. So each video starts off with an introduction to the school and student interviewers, followed by dynamic discussions with experts who are working to build climate resilience in their field of work, including discussions around impacts, adaptation approaches, what opportunities there are for green jobs, and what advice they have for students thinking about their futures and their future jobs.
Don't get hung up on exactly what job. Just go in the right direction, go in the green direction.
I mean, this is your future. You have a very powerful voice.
This is making me like really hyped up to go do some work in my school.
Remember that no matter what field of work you go into or what job you land on, you will need to recognize, understand, and factor in climate change. So thank you, merci, miigwech, and enjoy the video series.